Factsverse presents Top 10 Animals Frozen in Time. Number 1. The Frozen Fox. In January 2017, a hunter in Germany named Franz Steele was hunting near the Chile Danube and he saw a block of ice containing a frozen fox. According to Steele, the animal fell into the water where it drowned and then froze. It didn't take long before the water froze around the fox. According to Steele, the animal fell into the water where it drowned and then froze to death. It didn't take long before the water froze around the fox. According to Steele, it's not unusual for animals to break through the frozen surface in the winter. He says that he's also seen a wild boar and a deer that were frozen. Today, the frozen fox is on display outside his family's hotel in Friddingen. Number 2. Frozen fish. This photo was taken in 2015 by Kelly Priam, who was a regular visitor to the Lake Andes National Wildlife Refuge. In 2017, the Department of the Interior shared the photo. You can see many fish frozen in the air. Most of them are carp, and there are a few other species as well. This occurred when the lake levels were low due to the drought. The fish died due to depleted oxygen in the water. When it showed, it covered the fish and froze them. As the sun started to melt the snow, what was left was this amazing photo. Number 3. The Frozen Fox 2. Finding foxes frozen in the water must be a pretty common thing since this is the second one on our list. In 2014, a 26-year-old man named Jeffers Sandstrom was ice skating in central Sweden. When he looked down, he noticed that there was a fox frozen in the snow. According to Sandstrom, the fox walked over the semi-frozen lake when he fell through. Since nobody was around, the fox could not get out of the water and he died. When the weather got cold again, the lake froze over, leaving the fox one of the top 10 animals frozen in time. Number 4. The Frozen Elk. In 2014, a 47-year-old woman named Inger Sjoberg was ice skating in the middle of Lake Bodo in northern Norway when she saw something that she could not believe. Inside the ice was a very large elk, and its antlers were sticking up out of the ice. According to Sjoberg, it looked as though the elk was walking across the lake before the water had frozen completely. Since the elk walked on the water too early in the winter, it fell through the ice and could not get out. When the lake froze over completely, the elk who had drowned was closed up under the ice. That year, the animal had become a huge attraction for tourists and local children. Number 5. The Frozen Frog. It might look like this frog is sleeping, but it's actually frozen solid. There was a rise in temperature in Norway, so the frog thought that it had time to come out of hibernation, but he tried to jump across the lake and find a mate, and the temperatures dropped dramatically and the lake froze. The frog went back into hibernation right there on the open lake. After being exposed to the cold, the poor little guy froze to death. Number 6. Frozen Donkeys. A 54-year-old photographer named Sveen Nordrum was out skating on Lake Bindingsvann, which is located right outside of Oslo. When she saw the frozen herd of donkeys, she called a rescue team to come out and do something. The donkeys had been left unattended in an area that was experiencing the harshest, coldest winters on record. When the rescue team arrived, some of the donkeys were frozen, but some were still alive. The team took the donkeys and brought them to an animal shelter so that they could be warmed up, stabilized, fed, and treated by a veterinarian. Number 7. 2 bull moose. In 2016, a hiker named Brad Webster and his friends were hiking near a village on the west coast of Alaska when they made a shocking discovery. They found 2 bull moose who were in mid-battle, frozen in Unalakleet along the Bering Sea. They could tell that they were in the middle of a battle because their antlers were locked together. When they were discovered, mating season had just ended, which led the men to believe that they were either fighting over a female or territory. The animals must have fallen in the water after one was wounded, and since their antlers were locked, they drowned in the frigid water together. When the water froze over, so did the moose. Number 8. The Frozen Coyote. This amazing photo was taken by Sabine Canyon. This is exactly how the photographer found the coyote. He was sitting up, frozen solid on the side of the road. According to Canyon, the picture was taken in 2008, which happened to be one of the coldest winters on record. During that winter, the temperature dropped to 22 degrees below zero. This is more than cold enough for this poor little guy to freeze. Number 9. More frozen fish. Well, this is something you don't see every day. During the winter of 2014, a man named Ingolf Christiansen was taking a walk with his dog in Norway when he came upon hundreds of frozen fish. Due to the high winds and the extremely cold weather, the lake froze over so fast that the fish froze right into it. The lightning-fast freezing of the bay didn't give the fish a chance to swim below the water where it was safe. Number 10. The family dog. Animal cruelty officials were investigating the death of a poor dog who was found in a block of ice on a man's front lawn in British Columbia, Canada. The man in question was not responsible for the death of the dog. He didn't even recognize the dog. According to police, the dog was placed in a bin of water until it froze. They believe the dog belonged to someone because she was an average weight and relatively clean. The police believe the dog died before she was frozen. Subscribe for more.